So, in my last video, I talk about a positive material in the center of basically some antennas creating electromagnetic waves, typical of communication. So those waves are rotated, and what should happen is the force vector will typically be in one direction, rotating around this material, which is representing a two-dimensional plane. Now, because you're using an alternating wave, so wave is alternating, but also stereotypically being rotated in this direction. So because this is alternating, you'll have a propagation wave. So if you have space which is 2 times the size of the wave, with one wave, you'll also be able to create a second additional wave. But this additional wave, over time, as you have more and more distance, these gaps in the propagation wave may get larger. However, even if they do, if there's space for one of these waves to be produced, I think the propagation wave will fill that up. So this is overall what I was trying to explain in the last video, and that this in itself creates a structure for space-time. So this in its two-dimensional form as a pad on the back of a ship would, I think, look something like this. So you have space-time coming in, and you have these two waves being produced. Now this space-time will be pushed in this direction. However, will also be pushed in the opposite direction, and this will create some kind of shape. So it should create something, I think, like this. That's a bit weird. I'll show you in the form. So let's imagine now we just have two metal rings. You have a force vector going inwards and a force vector going outwards. The outwards vector would affect space-time like this. We'd be pushing it outwards. The inwards vector would be acting like a vacuum and sucking it in. And we might have something kind of like a small bump-like shape being created. That shape may be incorrect, but it's just giving you an idea of it. And again, I haven't done this experiment myself. It's just what I think I hypothesize could work. So let's imagine now we're looking at these two rings from the side, so you just see a thin line. So the inwards ring is sucking space-time inwards, and this outward ring, put close enough to the inward ring, will push that space-time outwards. So suddenly now space-time would be rotating here inwards, and this would be getting pushed inwards here. So what do you think would happen? I think this would suck the ship, or suck whatever you're using, in the direction of this area here. However, if you add in a positive structure to the mix, as those positive electric fields push out, these electromagnetic waves, so at the moment this blue is just the force vector, but you'd also have another vector here and another vector here. So let's imagine that as y, x and z. Well, if that's the force, and let's imagine this is the electric field, suddenly now we would have the force vector going across here, a field going downwards, and also maybe, x going over there somewhere. However, because this is alternating and rotating, there'd be some rotation, but overall it would change the kind of dynamic of this kind of pattern here. So, as you see here, I just kind of hypothesize that you'll have a small pad on the back of an object, and that will, so let's imagine this is the object. Let's imagine this is the pad. this here, it'll create some kind of waveform propagation. You'll have your force vector. So your force vector will probably be something like that. And basically now, I think you'd have space-time being sucked around the object. And then kind of expanding off. So space-time would be moving in the opposite direction to the object. So I don't think you need to have like a ship with ring 1 there and ring 1 there. I think you'll just have a ship, kind of like Star Wars Empire, with your kind of drive here. You turn it on. This creates a load of waves, but these waves are propagating. And there you have it. Suddenly now, space-time is moving an object. And apparently the object isn't actually moving, but this is all just a kind of model using an electromagnetic wave. Oh, I'm so tired. Which has 3 vectors. And these have a plus and negative side, but the negative side isn't really negative. So it's not really -1. It's always 1, I would hypothesize, just the direction's been changed because it's lapping backwards and forwards. Oh, and you have this lovely 6-pointed cross. So that's it. That's all of my work, I think. I think that's everything done now, beyond what I said when I first began. You could have a magnet. Yes. So let's imagine we want to stop this propagating everywhere. Let's just put a ring around it. So this can create a magnetic field. And I think, because the frequency of the magnetic field is going directly around, it's not alternating, and it's fast enough, it could be a way of disrupting the propagation of these waves happening out here. So then now, you have this ship, you have a certain size that you want it to be, the wave, and then that's it. You can get this that may be shaped like this, and space is moving this way, and this guy here is either not moving, or you could add in some repulsion or attraction effect to help move it faster. And that's everything. That's all of my work done. I'm not even going to look at this anymore.